This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students, I'm Dr. Divya from TeenEinstein. So now we're in the fifth part of chapter number 13, Why Do We Fall Ill? So far we have learned about health and its failure, diseases and its causes, what are all the reasons of this disease. Then now we are learning about infectious diseases. So in this chapter, we are learning about why do we fall ill? What is the reason for falling ill? What is that? So ill means that's a condition of body. So before that, how we will be? Before falling ill, how we will be? That healthy condition, right? So this healthy condition or this healthy situation is getting disturbed. So how these disturbances are coming, or what are those disturbances which is making us from a healthy situation to a bad condition or to a situation of illness? How it is changing, our healthy condition, how it is changing. So for that, how health failure is happening, that's what we had discussed as the first topic, right? Health failure. See, health means, we said, that is a well-being, the state of being well enough to function physically, mentally and socially in a good way, right? So that is called as health. So that health condition is getting disturbed or it is getting failed due to several reasons. See, health means, we said, that is a state of physical wellness, mental wellness and social well-being, right? So it's like we cannot say that it's something that we can achieve entirely on our own, right? So the health of an organism, that is depending upon the surroundings or the environment, we can say. So the environment should be clean and society should be clean, and we should make the habit of public cleanliness. We should make people to understand what is called as cleanliness and how to maintain that. So that awareness we should create, right? That is very important. Cleanliness, that is very important for individual health. So here, after learning this, we'll get an idea what is healthy condition and what is disease-free condition. Right? So healthy condition. Healthy condition means something. Disease means something is getting disturbed. Right? So literally that means being uncomfortable. That is called as disease. Right? So that word, that is having a, it's having a little more, or it is somewhat uh, like we can't explain within one or two sentences, right? So disease means a particular cause. What is disease? That is a particular cause of that discomfort. So that doesn't have a meaning that we have to know the final cause or the absolute cause of that disease. We can say that something is disturbing our body. So that healthy condition is getting disturbed. Our body is getting disturbed and we don't know what is the reason. So if you are approaching a physician, what they will do, they will try to find out the disease causes. Disease and the causes. So first they won't give you the final treatment, like in the treatment series. First they will ask you the symptoms, right? We'll get several symptoms, and the same symptoms will be up there for several diseases, isn't it? So those symptoms, they will ask each and every symptom one by one, and the side effects which you are facing, what medicines you are taking, and currently you are using any medicine. Based on all those things, first they will fix a basic treatment. Then from that basic treatment, if they'll give it for few days, and then also the same symptoms are existing, they'll go for the next step, and they'll come to know, they'll ask you the test reports, everything. They'll side by side, they'll ask you to keep a proper diet and all other health issues to monitor everything. So after few days or after the basic treatment steps, if still the symptoms are existing, they will go for further treatment. That's a way they are treating the diseases. Then diseases, these diseases are of different types. Okay, acute diseases are there, then chronic diseases are there. This acute disease means that will last for few days, right? And if you are maintaining a proper diet plus all the medical prescriptions in a well way, that can go away, or that will go, you can escape from this, or you'll get saved, or your health will be restored after few days, right? That is called as acute disease. If everything is going well, and if you are maintaining a healthy food habit, your health will get recovered in the case of acute disease. But chronic diseases are not like that. It will last for several months, and sometimes it will be for lifetime. So such diseases that is affecting our health in a bad way, but in acute disease you can recover, right? If you're taking medicines and if you're taking good food or healthier food, you can recover. It will, your health condition will get restored, right? You will be healthy again, because when the symptoms are appearing and you are starting the treatment and you are maintaining a proper diet, then definitely you will come back to a healthier situation. But chronic diseases are not in that way. Chronic diseases are for it, I said it's for lifetime, or it may be for long time diseases, or maybe for lifetime. Whatever may be, it is affecting any one organ, it is getting affected, or you are feeling your disturbances for one part or one organ or one organ system. All our body parts are interconnected, right? Or their processes are interconnected. So any one part is getting affected for long duration, that means for several months or several years, definitely it will affect whole health, whole body, and health. So surely it will affect your health in a bad way, even though if you are trying to recover, if you are recovering from that also, by that time your health percentage, that will be less, right? So that's the difference between acute disease and chronic disease. Then there are several causes of this disease, right? See, sometimes it may be due to cleanliness, sometimes the genetical issues. So definitely we can say that all the diseases will have many causes. There we cannot say that there is a single reason or a single cause. It will have, or it will now be, all the diseases will have immediate causes and contributory causes. Some immediate reason will be there for the appearance of the disease, and some things will be contributing to that. Okay, so that genetic differences, that makes one reason, or that can be one reason, and there will be some contributory reasons also. Okay, then we have learned about infectious and non-infectious diseases. Infectious, non infectious diseases. Infectious means that can be spread from one person to another person through contact or something like that. And non-infectious means that severe, that may be a serious disease or severe disease, but it cannot spread from one person to another person. And there is no, like, infectious disease, there will be some microorganism or some flies or some organisms or some agents will be there for spreading that. But non-infectious means if that person is sitting near to us also, it won't spread from the infected person to another one, because there the reason may be some genetical issues. There won't be any spreading agents. Then we had discussed about few infectious diseases like SARS, then Staphylococcus, some microorganisms we had discussed and the appearance of the disease. So SARS we had discussed, Staphylococci, then trypanosoma, then Leishmania, then roundworm, Ascaris lubricoides. All this we had discussed. Then just we had discussed about some viral infections and bacterial infections and why we are taking antibiotics. So how long were those who are taking antibiotics, they will feel that illness, or why we can't take antibiotics when we have viral infection? So those are the questions, main questions you are getting from this point. So there is a difference between these two groups, bacteria and virus. So why we are using antibiotics for viral bacterial infection, and why it is not protecting us from the viral infections? Okay, that's the question. So the antibiotic will work only against bacterial part of infections. It won't work for viral infection. Clear? Then, now we are going to discuss the means of spread, how the diseases are spreading. How these diseases are spreading. So how do infectious diseases spread? That's the question. So many microbial agents, you know that many microbial agents can commonly move from an affected person to, microbes will move from infected person to someone else, the other person. Okay, and this movement of microorganism from the infected person to other person, that can happen in many ways. Like they can be communicated, and these movement or this communication of disease, this can be in several ways, right? So these are called as communicable diseases. So that diseases which can be communicated are called as communicable diseases. Communicable diseases.
This conference will now be recorded.
So how diseases will spread? These diseases, like what we said, is microbial agents. Those microbial agents, they can move from infected person or affected person to the next person who is not having that infection. So this infection or the movement, the microbes can move. So these microbial movement from one person to another person, that can be done or that can happen in different ways. Okay, so that movement, that is called as communication of diseases. So this communication can happen in different ways. That's why these diseases are called as communicable diseases. Okay, communicable diseases. So that kind of disease causing microorganisms can spread through air. I said there are different ways of movement. So sometimes it may be through air. That movement may be through air. Okay, so that occurs like when small droplets, they are thrown by an infected person, and that can breathe, the other person is able to breathe those droplets because that person is in that surroundings or nearby, and through air it is reaching to the other person, and these microbes are getting a chance to start a new infection. Okay, this through air, how it is spreading? See, the infected person, maybe he may be coughing or sneezing, or maybe talking, right? Another person without infection is near to that, or he may be sitting near to that infected person and talking to that person. So while talking also, there is a chance of droplets, right? Droplets from the infected person. So those little droplets which are thrown out by an infected person through the sneezing or coughing or while talking, that droplets will enter to a person without infection. Person without infection. So there, those microorganisms are getting a chance for a new infection. So that starts a new infection, right? So for example, we can say the diseases which are spreading through air, that are common cold. For such kind of infection, we can say common cold is an example. Then tuberculosis, then pneumonia. So it's necessary to give the awareness about such diseases. See, there may be from this people, those who are having the infection, they may be from our own home. Maybe our kids will be having such infections, our relatives or whomever, maybe those who are staying in the same house, they'll be having infection. Because morning onwards, all people are going for job and their kids are going to school. So they may get, there is a chance of infection from several ways, right? Or some all these places. So while traveling, if you're coming by bus, you are nearby sitting person, he'll be having some infection. So that is enough, that and all a chance of infection. So such chances are giving this kind of infections. And if you're getting infected, we should take, see, all the people will be staying, those who are infected and are not infected, they'll be staying in one family, right? They'll be in one family, one person may get infected, and there is a chance of spreading all the disease. So disease means it's a disturbing condition, right? So whenever we are treating with such people, or those in one family, one person is having infection, other people doesn't have infection, they should take the precautionary methods. So how we will take, like the person who is having common cold, there is a chance of sneezing, coughing, they can use a mask. So we should take precautions because that should not get to other people. So we said it is through air, it is spreading. So in one home, there is a chance, 99% of chance. Like we'll sit together and we'll have dinner, we'll talk together, and while watching TV, we'll be sitting together. So there is a chance. Chances are more, right? So even though it is a common cold, that is disturbing your health, isn't it? So always we should be careful. If one is having infection, they should cover their face with mask, or they can use a kerchief, and instead of after using the kerchief, wash it, clean it properly, so you can prevent the spreading of such diseases. While sneezing, you can cover your face with a kerchief, right? Or cover your nose with a kerchief. While coughing also, you can do the same thing. Now you can use a mask, right? So such things, the kids or the elder people, they should be aware of such methods. Okay, so this is the basic thing which you have to educate your kids, and that kind of awareness you should give. Okay, and the examples: common cold, pneumonia, and tuberculosis, we said. So we all have, or we all have had the experience of sitting near someone who is suffering from a cold, and next day we will also get, right? There is a chance, because we know that our living condition, that is now like it's crowded. So airborne disease, there is a chances airborne disease, the spreading of this airborne disease, chances are more for this, right? Then this is the case of airborne disease. So let's see another condition, like diseases which is also spreading through water. So this condition through water, this is occurring if the excreta from someone suffering from an infectious disease or infectious gut disease, like cholera, that is getting mixed with the drinking water used by people who are living nearby. Okay, so how through water that infection is spreading? Excreta from infected person, infected people. Okay, so the excreta from someone suffering from infectious gut disease. Okay, people who are having or who are suffering from infectious gut disease, from them the excreta is getting mixed up. This excreta is getting mixed up with the drinking water. Okay, so that drinking water is getting supplied to the people who are living nearby. See, cholera, which is causing microbes, that cholera causing microbes, this will enter through water which they are drinking. Okay, this is a waterborne disease. Drinking water. Through that, it is spreading. So, such diseases are more likely to spread in the absence of safe supplies of drinking water. So, this is not airborne. This is through water it is spreading. That excreta mixed up water, which is not clean, that is getting supplied. Okay, so this is, we can say, this is due to the careless supply of water. Right. So here what you can do to prevent such diseases. That's why always we are suggesting people to drink boiled water nowadays. Because we know our cities are overcrowded or our places are overcrowded now, right? And there is a chance of getting mixed, this excreta is getting mixed up with the drinking water, and that chances are more nowadays because of the overcrowded cities. And in cities especially, you can expect such things. So what we can do, we need to drink clean water, right? So these microbes, if you are boiling water above 100 degree, there is a chance these microbes will die, right? So after that, after proper disinfection, you are doing all these things. Like if you are almost, this kind of microbes will die if you are boiling that water. So it's better to drink boiled water always. So that's why all are suggesting drink boiled water and send your kids boiled water. See, kids or our children, they'll drink water from several places, right? But we don't know whether they have supplied that with all kind of clean habits they are following or not. We don't know that. So it's better to suggest children to drink clean water that's from home they can take. They need to drink boiled water or make sure that it is a clean water. Okay, so this kind of diseases like cholera will spread, or they're more likely to spread in the absence of safe supplies of drinking water. Okay, then two people, they're having sexual contact. Okay, so that we can say one of the closest physical contact in between two people, right? So there are microbial infections like sexually transmitted diseases. Those sexually transmitted diseases cannot be spread by casual physical contact. Casual physical contact. It can spread only through the close contact like sexual contact. Okay, so casual physical contact, that means through hugs or like handshakes or like rustling and all, or by any other ways which we touch each other, like socially how we are touching, through that way it won't get into the other person. This is happening only through the sexual contact. So other than the sexual contact, the virus which is causing AIDS or HIV, that can also spread through blood to blood contact, right? This AIDS, HIV can be spread from one person to another person either through the sexual contact or blood to blood contact. What do you mean by blood to blood? Like through blood transfusion from one person to another person, the same blood group, or from infected mother to her baby. Okay, like that it can get transferred. So here, what we are learning from all these things, we are learning like, or we are living in an environment that is full of many other creatures. Apart from us, there are so many organisms. Like we cannot avoid them, or all these diseases will be transmitted from one animal or one organism to another organism, right? Diseases from one organism to other organism, and this diseases will be transmitted by other animals. So these animals carry the infecting agents from a sick person to another potential host. We need to say that this diseases from one infected person to other person who is not having any infection, or to other person who is a potential host, right? So these animals are this intermediaries, and they are called as vectors. Vectors. So what do you mean by vectors? The organisms which are carrying the infections from one person, or the infected from the infected person, it is getting transmitted to a potential host through some organisms or some animals. So they are called as vectors. Vectors. So they are doing that intermediate work. From one person, it is carried to another person. So that transmitting of these diseases are happening through vectors. Okay. So the common vectors which we can see there, mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are common vectors, and many species of mosquitoes, like the females, they need highly nutritious food in the form of blood, because then only these mosquitoes, we used to say that female anopheles mosquitoes, those are spreading some kind of diseases. So why these female mosquitoes need more blood in the form of nutrition. They need more blood in the form, they need more nutrition in the form of blood, because then only they'll be able to lay eggs. That's why female mosquitoes are becoming the vectors. So mosquitoes feed on many warm-blooded animals, including human beings. Right. So in this way, they can transfer disease. They'll bite one person. They will, to get blood, they'll go to one person. That person may be having infection. Then they'll go to the next person. So while taking blood, along with that, they'll take the microorganism which is creating the, or which is causing the infection. And when they are moving to the next host to take blood, that indirectly or unknowingly, that mosquitoes are passing those microorganisms to the healthier person or another host. It is getting transmitted. So these mosquitoes are the common vectors. Okay, so that's a way they can transfer disease from one person to another person. Clear? So vectors means they are the agents, or that they are the intermediates for transmitting diseases from one infected person to another potential host. Okay. So that's how the infections are getting transmitted from one person to another person. So how it is spreading? Through contact. Some infections are spreading, right? Airborne diseases are there. Then through water, some diseases are spreading. That is due to the contaminated supplies, right? And some diseases can spread only through physical contact, close physical contact, like sexual contact. And some diseases like AIDS and all, HIV virus and all, that can get transmitted through blood transfusion also, and from the mother to their young ones, from the pregnant mother to their young ones, or their baby during that pregnancy period, that may get transferred. That infection may go to the baby also during that pregnancy period. So here we know that some animals, the infections which are getting transmitted from one person to another person, other than this, air, water, and sexual contact or close contact like that, or through blood transfusion, other than that, some animals are working as the agents for transferring these diseases from one organism, from one person to another person. So some animals, through animals also, it is getting transmitted. Some diseases are getting transmitted. So what I'm saying, these are the different means of spread, how diseases are getting spreaded. So first one is through air, right? For that we need to give an example. Then through water, cholera is an example for disease which is spreading through contaminated water. Then third one, physical contact. Physical contact in the sense close physical contact. You can see sexual contact. So HIV, syphilis and all examples for that. Then HIV and all, there is another method also, from mother to baby during the period of pregnancy, or it can happen through blood transfusion. Okay, so there is a chance of that type transmission of disease. Then apart from all these things, some animals are working as the agents. Animals. Okay, so this animals in the sense, sometimes it will be in the form of fly. So these animals which are working as the agents for transmission, they are called as vectors. They are carrying that reason of that disease or the microorganisms from one person, from the infected person to a healthier person, or we can call as a potential host. So how it is getting transmitted? See, for example, if you are taking the case of mosquitoes, mosquitoes are the common vectors, right, for many diseases. So what they are doing, they'll bite. Especially we are saying female mosquitoes. In most of the cases, you can see female mosquitoes because female mosquitoes need to lay eggs. So they need more nutrition in the form of blood. So they will be searching for their nutritious food, which is blood. So they'll bite one person, and that person, by chance, if that person is having that infection through this female mosquitoes, it will get carried, and the mosquito will go to another person again for the nutritious blood. So what will happen? While biting the first person who is infected, this mosquito is carrying that organism, microorganism, and when it is moving to the next organism or next person and again biting that person, through this vector or this mosquito which is working as a vector, which is helping as an agent for transmitting of this disease, for the transmission of this disease, they are carrying that infection to the other person. So some animals are also working as the agents or intermediates or as the vectors for spreading this disease from one person to another person. Okay, so these are the modes of spreading or means of spreading these diseases. Okay, so direct contact from infected person, through indirect contact and through food, then mosquito, through insect, everything. Then some animals, they are also working as the agents or vectors for this common disease, common methods of transmission of disease. Clear? So in the next class, we'll be learning about organ specific and tissue specific manifestations. Okay, so hope now you should know what is disease, what is a healthy condition, what is a diseased condition, and what and all types of diseases are there, what is acute and what is chronic disease. If acute disease coming means how we can recover, chronic how it is affecting our health, and how the diseases are spreading from one person to another person. Okay, so in the next class we'll be learning about organ specific and tissue specific manifestations. Thank you.